If you have never read St. John Chrysostom on the topic of fasting, I would highly recommend you do so. Even this morning, the monks heard from him at vigils, fasting is a medicine. But medicine, as beneficial as it is, becomes useless because of the inexperience of the user. He has to know the appropriate time that the medicine should be taken, and the right amount of medicine, and the condition of the body which is to take it, the weather conditions and the season of the year, and the appropriate diet of the sick, and many other things. If any of these things are overlooked, the medicine will do more harm than good. So if one who is going to heal the body needs so much accuracy, when we care for the soul and are concerned about healing it from bad thoughts, it is necessary to examine and observe everything with every possible detail. St. John Chrysostom is telling us that we need to look to the sin and then apply appropriate fasting to root it out. The appropriate compress, if you will, so that our fasting and prayer may appropriately heal us. What is it that we struggle with? What sin is controlling our lives? Maybe we struggle making it to Mass on Sundays. Make it your resolution to be here on Sundays during Lent. And once successful with that, build upon it. Maybe we haven't been to confession in months or years. Make it your resolution to return to the sacrament this Lent, and then build upon that in going more frequently. God's mercy can free us from the anxiety that weighs our hearts down. Maybe we struggle with controlling our anger. Make it your resolution to control your thoughts, and as St. Benedict reminds us, when these thoughts of anger ravage us, dash them against the rock of Christ. Maybe we struggle with charity and reaching out to those in need. Make it a resolution to remove those things that keep you from reaching out. Turn off the television. Put down the game controller. Set aside the phone and social media and talk to someone and really listen to them. Maybe we struggle with purity. Make it a resolution that when these temptations arise, to change your environment. Go for a walk, seek out a friend, come to the chapel, root out the things in your life that cause the temptation. Seek help where needed. If we look back at the advice of St. John Chrysostom, we can see a very clear path to applying the proper medicine to heal our souls. Here are the recommendations he gives us. Our fasting should involve giving up sinful practices. Fasting should include performing virtuous deeds. We know that both vice and virtue are built on habit. So build the habit of virtue to replace the habit of vice. Besides the encouragement of fasting from food, what about fasting from speech? And when we do speak, that our speech is appropriate. And lastly, we should fast according to our ability, that the medicine we apply does not cause us harm. It may hurt, but it shouldn't harm us. We are here today because we acknowledge that we are sinners and need God's mercy. Now, what are we going to do about those struggles we recognize in our lives? What Lenten resolutions are we going to make to address those struggles? Let us look into our hearts to truly know where healing and forgiveness is needed. And let us respond to that need. Isn't that why we fast? Because we are sinners and we desire reconciliation with God. As we celebrate this Eucharist, let us look to our hearts and ask the tough questions. What have I placed ahead of Christ that has made me turn away from being what God has created me to be? Let us look closely that we might embrace the dignity of who we were fashioned to be. That person, created in the image of God, may be unrecognizable, but let us trust in the grace of God's mercy to restore us to that image and likeness of Christ. Jesus has called us to return to him with our whole heart. How will we respond to his invitation?
For more from St. Benedict's Abbey in Atchison, Kansas, see our website, kansasmonks.org.